all right, party people in the place to be, vandals, and all the people out there slashing the slashers. This is a brand new episode of How'd We Get Here? This is actually kind of a cursed episode, but we've had like a little lady. She came in, she told us, Your house is clean. So we think the curse is over, and we might actually be able to get this episode out the door. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Third time's a charm, like you said, man.
Third time's a charm and all that. But well, what are we talking about tonight before we get into our check-in, Joseph? What are we doing?
We're talking about Hack and Slash Back to School. Zoe Thorogood's take, kind of a prequel or a middle quill, or I don't know what you call it.
Kind of like a year one type of
Year
thing.
one, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Year one for Hack and Slash. Tim Silly's Hack and Slash. Released by Image Comics. This came out the first time we tried to do this episode was right about when school was starting up again. That's why we picked it, seeing as how it's back to school, but storms and whatnot and unreliable internet. One time it was Johnny, the other time it was me.
Yeah.
So this time we're hoping, boom, we'll get through the episode this time. So
Yeah, and we'll get more into the book when we get there. But you have a check-in, right, Joe?
I have two quick things. Three really, if you want to talk about three. One, I think you'll be able to touch on, so I'll keep it for the end. I was doing a read through of Ghost Rider 2099. I believe it started in 94. It's about 25 issues long. So I was given a read through on that. Kyle Holtz posted a pretty cool, I don't know if it was a commission or just a drawing, a cover he did on his Instagram. And I thought it was cool. And I was like, oh man, if you did a Ghost Rider series or something, I'd definitely pick it up. He's like, well, I actually did 6 issues on the original, 5 or 6. And I was like, oh shit. I know I'd read a couple. I know Chris Bacalo,
Bacalo is how I always say it.
Bacalo. Anyway, he started the series off. I think he drew the first 4 maybe issues. Then it went to the inker, which was Buckingham, I think, or something like that was the inker.
Mark Buckingham?
He did the pencils. He took over pencil duties on top of that, and then it switched to Kyle Holtz, and then there was a few other artists, and then Ashley Wood closes out the series. So you have a few pretty cool artists on there.
Yeah, actually all around, man. Damn.
Yeah, the art's pretty solid. I mean, like Kyle's like, oh, don't forget it's early Kyle. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, man.
But I mean, like almost all those guys grew up to be sensations, man. Mark Buckingham drew Fables like for its whole run. You have, like you said, Ashley Wood, Chris Bacalo, who definitely came into his own a bit later on, but I mean, I like his earlier art as well.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of it with Shade the Changing Man, so yeah, it's around that. That was probably just after the his Ghost Rider 2099 must have been kind of right after Shade the Changing Man, right in the early 90s, huh?
Yeah, it was 94. I think the series started 94, so it might have been just before or just after, like you're saying, right around the same time, anyway.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The art, like Kyle said, it's early stuff. You know how artists are with they're like, yeah, they wish they could just erase a lot of their earlier stuff. But I mean, you see, like the beginnings, you see the seeds, like especially when he has splash pages and stuff like that, you really see what, when he has a larger surface, maybe he spent a little more time on it. Like you see you see Kyle Holtz,
Yeah,
so,
I'm pretty sure you see his art in there.
Yeah. There's some beautiful panels from him in there, so he has nothing to worry about, to be reluctant to talk about it or show it to people. And Ashley Wood, his stuff was great in there. I mean, definitely makes me think of like the kind of like a Jay Lee at the time. He and had similar styles around the same time. Because when Jay Lee was doing his work around that time, maybe even a little earlier, had a similar style to Ashley Wood back then. So it's pretty cool. Good stuff. I'll do, we don't often do shout outs, which we probably should more often. So I'm going to give a shout out to, I don't know if everyone follows her, but Kiki, what's her Instagram handle? Let me go see. Right here. Nope, that's not it. But she has a Patreon. Here, I got it here. I'll copy paste their Patreon page here. Let's see. I'm so good with technology, man. It's crazy.
But her and her partner are incredible artists. I don't know. She never says exactly like how the art duties are split between the two of them, but like, oh my god, their work is just gorgeous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There we go. There's the link. Throwing it up in the chat, so you can go check it out. They have a Patreon. So her and her buddy Chris, I believe. Let's go see. I was chatting it up. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, her best friend and her, Nick, they're besties, she says. They work together. He does most of the writing. So yeah, they're working. It's a lot of it is the work in progress, like little one shots, one offs, kind of stuff she's talking about. She's gonna be doing a lot more process stuff and coming in the new year, like leading up to like how they came up with the stories and stuff like that. And she has some fun stuff. She posts quite regularly. She does a lot of fan art. So if you go follow her account, that's Jackie Quinn, and her handle, if you're looking for her handle, it's what was it again?
QUI.
Yeah, comics. Kiki Comics.
But yeah, spelled QUI.
Yeah. So like the beginning of her Quinn, I guess. So it's Kiki. Yeah. You go find it there. The link for the Patreon's there too. So if you go follow on Instagram, you could catch it all there. So it's pretty cool. She does a lot of fan art, often uses a lot of what do you call them? Cosplay models.
Yeah.
She does a lot of art with like related to cosplay models and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of recreation of covers. I think she did the classic Jim Lee connecting covers. She did that a while back. I remember she did that. That was pretty cool. She did X from the Dark Horse Greatest Whatever. She did that one.
Yeah,
she does all kinds. Yeah, she does all kinds.
Hero.
Yeah. She does all kinds of stuff. She has a very good taste in comics, so that's why I've been following her. So
incredible art style too. Like she's she's the type of photorealistic artist that I enjoy their work. You know what I mean? It's really clean, really precise, not mannequin-y like Alex Ross's, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so fun stuff. She's a fun follow, and they have their Patreon. I think she's had her and Nick has had it. Kiki and Nick have had it for I would say 6 months, but I'm fucking so bad with time. It could be 2 years, and it feels like 6 months. So it hasn't been that long, anyway. So it's fairly new. They've been at it for maybe I'd say a year probably at most. Like it's probably been about a year. So.
And she's always been a huge supporter of us, man. She's always reposting our stuff, and we've actually offered to have her on the show, but she's not quite ready for it.
She's a little shy. She's shy, yeah. So, great supporter of indie comics in general. Like loves indie comics of all sorts, all styles, all walks of indie comics. So, yeah, man, great follow. So support people that support indie comics. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, man.
And one last thing for my check-in, dude. I know you finished it. Arcane.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah, it was a good ending. I mean,
yeah, you knew that's the way it was going to end, right? The way the story was going. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I still had a couple gripes, like them making Jace a hero. I'm like, fuck, I hate that character, man. He was such an asshole the entire run of the series.
That's the hammer guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I was on Victor's side, man. I'm sorry. Like I was on Victor and Jinx's side. Even though I do like Vi a lot, Vi kind of had some questionable arc turns this season, in my opinion, but still a really solid character. I still really enjoy her. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a full Arcane breakdown, I think on the 5th.
December 5th. Yeah, we'll do the entire second season.
Is the plan. Like we might do it after or maybe before. I'm not sure, but yeah, that we're definitely going to be tackling Arcane. And if you haven't checked it out yet, man, please do, because we will be spoiling shit on our breakdown. So, but like I said, you got till the 5th, and if you watch us, just be warned, we're going to go there. Maybe not all the way into all the spoilers, but we're going to be. We're going to spoil everything. Sorry, we just are.
We're going to go we're gonna go the distance and we're not gonna pull out. So get ready.
Going fully on Musk style, no pullouts.
Yeah, go. We're gonna raw dog it. So yeah, one last thing. So yeah, so that's my check-in. Don't forget, go check out the Patreon for Kiki. It's called oh shit. It's got a funny horror noir. So, what is it again? I just had it open and I closed it. Damn it. Anyway, it's written there, horror noir. That's their Patreon, patreon.com, or you can get the app. I think it's better on the app. I think
horror noir.
Yeah, but if you're on a computer, just go through the browser. Yeah.
And I have a check-in. Like, I've been watching Pantheon. It's an AMC animated show. It's very good. Like, I really like it. It's kind of about everybody's complaining about AI, but this is about UI. It's about uploaded intelligence, and it's all about, you know, the idea of uploading one's consciousness to the web, and like and how that would play out. And you know, like
you know what?
What's
that fucking fits right in with the Ghost Rider 2099.
Yeah,
that's exactly what Ghost Rider is. It's he wired his subconscious into the entity that is Ghost Rider. That's pretty much what the Ghost Rider, the basic Ghost Rider. Yeah, so that's cool. That kind of ties into my check-in a little bit.
And it's a pretty good show. It kind of shows like how families will deal with it, and like the idea of, are they still human? It reminded me a lot of like one of Alex Packnendel's first books that I really liked, called Arcadia.
Yeah.
It's really good. It has like similar vibes to that, but it's also it reminds me a bit of like early Vertigo, or not early Vertigo books, but Vertigo books like Air, Why the Last Man, and American Virgin, kind of about like, you know, the group of people kind of traveling around doing a certain thing. It has that same kind of feel to it. Like, it really reminds me of like that style of a Vertigo book. So it really hits home on a lot of levels for me. I'm like halfway through season 2 right now, and yeah, I'm digging it.
How many seasons are there?
There's going to be a third one. I'm not sure how long they're going to take it, but there's 2 seasons already, and the third one's being made, and it's coming out soon. So
cool.
So yeah, definitely check out Pantheon. It's on AMC. The first season is on Netflix though too. So like, if you don't have AMC, you can watch half of it already on Netflix. So, which is how I got introduced to it. And yeah, that's pretty much my whole check-in.
Cool. Awesome.
So man, Hack Slash back to school. We're gonna do it, and hopefully we're gonna get into it. This cover here has a mad spoiler in it. I'm not gonna point it out, but like, it definitely gives away the ending. Like, if you look at Cassie's back.
Yeah, but you have to read the story to understand it, so it's not really that
that
big of a spoiler.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
And man, I'm really happy that you know, because the way Tim Silly left the series, it didn't ever feel right to me. And I always used to tease him when I was like on Facebook and stuff like that I'd never forgive him for what he did to Vlad. So I was really happy when he started letting other like young female creators like take over the reins and actually do new Hack Slash. This is actually the second kind of reimagining that they've done. This one is with Zoe Thorogood, you know, upcoming sensation in the comic scene. And I think that she had a lot of fun with it. I think that she had a weird connection to the character right off jump. You know what I mean? Like, she kind of, if you read her other works, you'll see what I mean. But she kind of writes herself as Cassie in the book. Like, the character Cassie Hack in this is not so much different than the way she writes herself. And it's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. So really digging that. But this one kind of starts off letting us know that there's like this weird phenomenon going on where like kids are just wigging out and like murdering their whole families for no real reason, which is like the key component. But like, there's a couple other, like, each issue kind of has a monster to fight, but like there's like an overarching monster, and it's this one, this family killer. And we kind of start this off, like Joe said, like, this is kind of right after Cassie meets Vlad. And, you know, it's the same old story. Like, she mistakes him for a slasher, and she's basically, to make up for it, she took him out to to get a burger with the last of her, like, food vouchers she stole from her foster parents. And that's kind of how, like, this story starts, is like they're in this fast food joint, you know, and like they're kind of getting to know each other while Cassie's doing the whole, typical there's no us because us means that it's going to end in a bad way, and which kind of is foretelling the future. If you never read the end of Tim Seeley's original Hack Slash, like I think that's what Zoe was like harping on here, but like I dig that type of stuff. And then you kind of see the whole like really cutesy thing with Vlad just focusing on the fries, not really listening to anything Cassie says.
Yeah, with the reflection in his the lens on his mask there.
Yeah. And I like the way he kind of like confronts her too. Like I wasn't sure if you were just a conceited little bitch or anything, but like I'm kind of changing my mind about you too. Like I like their back and forth when all of a sudden like one of the guys that works at this burger joint just starts murdering kids and stuff, and he's like talking about how he's saving them from the machine and like the moms and dads should be happy. And yeah, just some really cool gore in it. And Zoe does the thing that she does really well, man. I love like it's Loaning the Sin of the Earth, because she did this, and like the way she draws like different versions of the character in different ages, like in one panel, just showing like kind of the insecurity of it. Like it's just so cool. And you see scared Cassie when she basically had to kill her mom. That's how Cassie got in.
Such a great way to do a flashback incorporated into the actual now panel. So you don't have to go back and forth. It's all part of the same panel, which is great and super efficient too, right? You save on pages and panels. Such a cool way to do it.
Right. Which, I mean, I do think that this book should have been an issue longer, to tell you the truth. Like it's a 4-issue like mini. I think it could have really benefited from being in a 5-shot, to tell you the truth, but that's just my particular gripe with it. But yeah,
but who knows, maybe they'll come back. Maybe she'll come back to do another arc. I don't know, maybe.
Well, there is a great stinger at the end of the book, so like I'm hoping that is a possibility too. But like basically she's flashing back to when she had to kill her mom, who was like the first slasher that Cassie ever had to fight. And basically like this bunny is like kind of reducing her back to like that scared little girl. And like this kind of really cool panel where you see like it's a zombie underneath the bunny mask, and it just smoosh gets stepped on by Cassie's hero, basically. And man, I forget her name already, but like this lady, she used to be a slasher film actress. And she
continue. I'll look for her name while you're
she basically she saves Cassie here with her chainsaw and stiletto heels, and just like I love this scene here where she kind of goes up to the counter and she's like, I want a diet soda, and like the people are just scared, so she just like pours her own soda, like while giving them like this like grow up look. It's like funny little things like that really endear this particular arc to me, man. Like Zoe really had a ball doing this, and like it's kind of out of her wheelhouse. I didn't really expect her to like really do a book like this, but yeah, I'm really happy that she did. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you watched her earlier stuff, like on Instagram, the stuff she was posting. She liked to draw a lot of like horror stuff. So, I mean, I think she was probably loved the opportunity to do this.
Right?
Because like if you followed her Instagram early on, she did a bunch of horror stuff. So it was really cool when we heard this. I was super stoked to see what she was going to do with it.
Right.
I still didn't find what her name is.
So basically, this lady, she tells Cassie that she runs an academy for slashers, and basically she tells her that she can tag along. You know what I mean? But she has to like adhere to the rules and all that. And then Vlad comes out and is like, Cassie, what happened? And like she's kind of like, oh, what is this? And like basically Cassie gets Vlad an invitation, but like she says basically if any of the girls at the school object, he's got to go. And like Vlad's just like, yes ma'am, he's just like in for the
Is her name Darla Ritz? Is that the name?
Yeah, Darla Ritz, that's exactly what it is. So Darla Ritz. And they get to the academy, and there's like this whole big thing going on where there's like this Cthulhu monster that came out of the computer, and like the girls are taking it down, and you kind of get introduced to the core 4 girls that you're going to be following. You got Sam here with the blue hair. You got Mabel with the beanie, and Boo is the blonde yandere type girl.
Mhm.
And she's straight up a yandere, and then she kills her boyfriends and everything. So like out of an anime. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, like Sam goes to like kill Vlad because she thinks he's a slasher right off jump, and like Cassie's kind of like defending him, and you kind of get this weird tension between them, which it goes where you think it's gonna go. Like by the end of the book.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not like any huge twists, there's which is all right. That's fine, It's a fun story. It is. It's a really fun story. And like Johnny, what would you say like the tone? What, like maybe 16, 13? The youngest 13, maybe 16 years old to read this?
Yeah, there's the worst thing really about it is some language and a little bit of
Mhm.
gore, but it's like over the top, silly gore for the
Mhm.
most part. So, yeah, I would say 16 because like there is a sex
There's a
scene
little
in
bit of
it.
sex. Yeah. It's not graphic or anything, but I mean, it's there and it's, yeah.
But there's this one part here where Vlad's just like, I want a matching uniform too, which they never do show him, but I would have loved to seen them all Angus Younged
Yes.
out in like a
Yeah. It
little
would have been
schoolboy
cool.
outfit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking like number 5 from Umbrella Academy or something. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been
Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah.
pretty groovy.
It would have been funny as hell.
And you kind of get the school breakdown, which kind of reminds me of early Deadly Class with Marcus, like first going through the halls of the school, and Cassie kind of like realizing that at this school she's kind of like not even that interesting. She's just, another one of the girls, which is kind of boring, but in her case, boring is good. And then yeah,
Mhm.
you get Boo being like, "Hey, we're room neighbors," and she's like, "Look, this is my third boyfriend's skull," with a knife sticking out of it. So
Mm.
yeah, they kind of play a little loose with the humor, but I think it's all good, man. I think it's really cute.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you kind of
which a hack and slash, right? It is that. It's that silly, humorous, over the top kind of thing, right? So, which I
yeah.
think Zoe hit the marks, like full marks for that. She kept the spirit of hack and slash, right? So,
And then we get to see some of Darla's old work, like her film posters here, like Return of the Living Dildos and Slash Sisters 2 and stuff. And there's even kind of a joke of Joey's book, Zoe's second book. There's a horror film called It's Lonely at the Cabin in the Woods, which almost looks like the cover of her last book, which I thought was pretty funny. And that's kind of like where we end issue 1 with like, Cassie actually feeling like she belongs somewhere for once.
Mm-hmm.
And then like beginning of next issue, we kind of see Darla's origin. Yeah, so she's on the set of a film and she's being strung up, and the director's like basically explaining to her the scene when the actor that's playing the slasher walks in, and they're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And basically he starts killing everybody on the set. Like he cuts Darla's eye out and stuff. That's why she wears the patch. And then you get this really cool scene where Darla's like praying for all that's holy, that the chainsaw on the prop table is real, and then she just like kills her first slasher, and that's kind of our introduction to her, and just shows how badass she is. And I really do like the character, even though like me thinking about like a live action version of this, the only person that could actually play Darla Ritz would be the grandma from Evil, which I mean, I don't have anything against the actress. I just really hated her character on the show. But like,
oh yeah, she could pull off the vibe.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's her getting her eye gouged and stuff, and it's like we said, it's a little brutal, but like
what about Helen Mirren?
A little too classy.
Little bit, yeah. You think
Quite a bit too classy. Like
yeah?
I see chain smoking, kind of dirty old lady. So yeah, I see the mom from grandma from Evil.
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah, it's a good call. I was just thinking the other one that popped into my head was Helen Mirren, but but totally, yeah. The grandmother from Evil for sure, without a doubt. Mm-hmm.
And then like basically, we get a Cassie going and checking in on Vlad, and basically he's kind of fitting in too. He's hanging out with Boo, and like she's teaching him anime dances and stuff like that.
This is the page panels where I fell in love with the book, where she goes to check in on him, and he's having a blast with Boo, and she's just like, "Oh, I'll just let him have his moment," And that's where I see that, like, where that relationship is cemented, where her and Vlad, all she wants is for him to be happy, and she's willing to, like, that the old saying, if you love something, set it free, kind of like let him have his own space. Like Zoe could have gone the route of, oh, Cassie's a little jealous because Vlad's hitting it off with someone else, but no, she's super happy that he's making other friends and stuff. And I thought that was such a heartwarming, endearing moment for the two characters,
Yeah,
without them actually interacting with each other. You know what I mean?
and these middle two issues are my favorite part of the book. I love issues 2 and 3. Like just the adventures they go on, because like basically Cassie gets a call from the tech girl, and basically she's like, do you want to go on your first mission with us? And she's like, hell yeah. So she gets all decked out and ready to go before she actually has her classic iconic bat. We actually get to see her bat's origin too, the classic Kiss It bat. And they go to this place where there's this guy just strung up by the PC wires, cut in half. With Boo will let you know his dick is out. His dick's out. Which is this is the stuff that some of the characters point out in the book is really funny, and they get sucked into like basically the guy's computer, and it's this 8-bit style indie game pretty much.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
called
super
Frog
awesome.
Boy, and I love the way she kind of does all the characters in 8-bit, like kind of this story kind of reminds me of the story of the guy that did the game Alone in the Woods or Night in the Woods. I forget what it's actually called, but like I think that she actually based this on a true story a little bit, because it reminds me of like a thing that actually happened in the indie game space a couple years ago. And pretty much they play the game to find the slasher, and he's basically just a game dev that thought that by making his games he could make people like him, but like all they wanted was more from him, and they just told him about how his game sucked when he was just trying to make games for him. So he was traveling through their computer and cutting them in half and making them feel like how they made him feel. But like he was done with it, and he was happy that the girls found him, so he kind of takes himself out. And that but basically like he gives them their newest cool toy, so basically they can use the portals that he created to travel through cyberspace, and like they're able to like catch up to like one of the family killer things going on in real time up in Canada. So they basically find this boy, and they kind of get their first glimpses of like the family killer pretty much. And Cassie bonks him, so they take the kid home, but we see the mother there, and she's just like hiss, you know what I mean? And this is basically the start of the downfall, I would say,
Yeah, where things start to unravel.
I'm not sure. Do you think we should spoil the end completely, or do you want to leave it vague?
We can leave it vague so people have something to look forward to when they read it.
Okay, good call. So yeah, we'll do that. And it's kind of like the next episode, like they get paid for this job and stuff, so they all kind of go to this liquor store, and they just get drunk in the bathroom of this liquor store, pretty much. You know what I mean? Just having a girls' night out, and I don't know, it's really cute. You know what I mean? It actually kind of reminds me of something that people would actually do. You know what I mean? In a weird way, because like they're all a little too fragile and a little too paranoid to actually go to a club or anything. So yeah, they just go get beer at this liquor store and like hang out.
These girls are what age about?
I think around 20. Because Boo just turned 21. Okay. So like yeah, I think they're probably anywhere between 17 to 20.
And I think Zoe's not too far from that. She's probably what, 25 at the oldest, I'd say, Zoe.
Yeah, probably around there now, because she was 23, I believe, when It's Lonely came out.
Yeah, so she's not too far removed from these characters age-wise and maybe life experiences and stuff. So she's probably put a lot of herself into the book, like her experiences and insecurities and, fears, desires, stuff like that.
And we get this like really cool training montage with Cassie, pretty much, where like Vlad's telling her that she's getting stronger, even though she, doesn't really believe him and stuff. I love that. Look at the bicep, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cute. And then like they get sent on a second job, but they didn't actually get the briefing, and basically like they got to go to a strip club where girls are going missing and stuff, but Boo's the only one that kind of dressed up for the assignment. And they get there, and like they're pretty much just like, what's going on, like we got to figure out what's up. So like they can't really find anybody that's telling them what the lowdown is, so they just go exploring for themselves, and like they see that there's something screwing through the vents and stuff, and they open this one locker, and they're just like, oof. I love this panel. Yeah, basically this emaciated woman, and she's like, find my daughter, please. He's got my daughter. And you kind of get the first inklings of what's going on, and like there's I love this issue because it just goes so kind of B movie with it. We're
Mhm.
very Roger Corman with the mad scientist who's making his ultimate sex toy that he's always wanted, which is a human spider, and Boo's reaction to it, like, oh, what's so weird about it? The guy just wants to fuck a spider. So but yeah,
Yeah, she simplifies everything, right? Like, yeah.
and see, like, yeah, this is the stuff that like might be a little, but I mean, it's just fun horror stuff in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, like, I'd say, like, yeah, maybe a later teen, but I don't know, depending on what you let them watch already. Like, you could probably let,
Mhm,
yeah, somebody around 15 would definitely be a good age to check this out.
mhm.
And yeah, it catches Sam and Boo, and basically Cassie finds the little girl though, and like they're trying to take out the scientist, but like basically he's made his concoction, like it just kind of reforms him when they cut him in half. So like they don't really know what to do with him. That's when the mom basically comes back out of the vent and she's able to fuse with the spider and like actually tear the dude apart and eat him and stuff. And basically takes care of herself so they can get her daughter out of there, and they take her back to the academy. And yeah, this is kind of the big happy part before we get to the mother actually found her way to the academy and got into Kitty, who is like
Yeah,
one of the minor main girls, and made her kill her own cat, which this is the only panel that I find really, oh, it makes me sad. Makes me,
yeah. I didn't like that panel. It's a beautiful, well-made panel. I just,
yeah, the subject matter is a little brutal in my opinion.
yeah, I always hate it when the animal has to bite it. Mm.
And then we get a little more idea about like what the mother's got going on, you know, a little bit, and how far it spreads, because like at first they thought it was just an thing that was happening in the North America, but like it's all over the world, like it's
Mhm.
happening everywhere. And kind of like Vlad and Cassie both found a place because the girls kind of all use Vlad to train with now and stuff like that. And he's like into it. He thinks it's cool, you know, he's part of the school. And
Mhm.
basically Sam calls Cassie up because she's always teasing her about how her bat's not a good weapon. So we basically see the origin of the Kiss It bat. Like got the nails and
Yeah.
like they deck it out. And then see, and then we get that there's the bat, and then you know the tension that I was talking about, it finally goes to where you knew it was going. And this kind of cracked me up because Zoe kind of wrote this scene like a dude. Like this doesn't really seem kind of more like how like
Well, I mean, you follow her on social media. She does have kind of like a tomboyish dude vibe to her. You know, the way she approaches stuff, and
well, this is
I think that's kind of Zoe. Kind of has that kind of guy mentality a little bit in her.
but I guess they are older teens, so it would be kind of a weird sloppy love scene like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too, regardless. I don't,
Mhm.
but yeah, it just was kind of funny because like it's not the first time I've read a girl on girl scene with Cassie, and like even Tim wrote him a little more or, like, I don't know, touchy
Sensual.
feely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, a little more with a little more feeling. And this is where we're gonna cut it off because like we said, the mother had gotten to the school, and it kind of doesn't end well. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
as you know, hack and slash, it ends up as just you know, Cassie and Vlad on the hunt. So we end the book pretty much with you know, Cassie and Vlad nowadays. With Cassie not remembering what happened at the school for good reason. And we're gonna let you guys go ahead and figure that out and read it for yourself, because I mean it's a fun book, and it's a pretty it's a pretty strong zinger. I think that I would have liked to see some more panels. That's why I wish that there was a bit more of an extra issue,
That
because I would
fourth,
like to see,
that fourth issue felt rushed
yeah.
a little bit. Like you said, maybe one extra issue would have been pretty cool. Develop like maybe the characters, their relationships a little more. You know, like the tension, like we said, that they probably could have built that up for another half issue before the
The
before
closed
they do
escrow. Yeah.
yeah, before they do the deed and all that stuff, and but I understand comics, 4 issues. They probably weren't sure, so they said let's do four, and
Plus, she was cartooning the whole thing herself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like she probably kind of, and I'm not. I mean, Image isn't really known for time limits. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
like having stuff
yeah,
out on time. So, I, but I think that she wanted to get it done, and since she was doing it herself, I think 4 issues just kind of. And I mean, it is like it's 100 and something pages, anyways, with just the 4 issues. So Like it is a good size trade paperback, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it could have maybe like had a extra long last issue at least. You know what I mean? Kind of at
Yeah,
least
yeah, an
make
extra 10 pages or something. Yeah.
yeah, just to kind of help the end story out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the last violent scene in it. You know what I mean? I think it could have benefited being a touch longer, but
Yeah.
that's my only nitpick, man. As a fan of Hack Slash, since it came out, I still have Euthanasia, the original 48-page one shot that Tim Silly put out at Devil's Due Productions. You know what I mean? All
That's
them
where the
years
first
ago.
issue came out?
Yeah, DDP was the first label
Mhm.
to have Hack Slash.
Mm.
So yeah, and it was a blast from get go. You know what I mean? And it's just so good to see it still going, even with the fact that the live action thing never came to fruition. Because ever since like it kind of got picked up and got really big, I think after the third 48-page one shot, like it was in production for the longest time. Like Megan Fox was supposed to play Cassie for the longest time, and it just never came out. But despite that, like it had two ongoing series from two different labels. It had so many one shots. It has so many omnibuses, and like we're still getting entries into it. One just came out. We got it crossing over with Body Bags at the moment. So like,
Yeah.
I am so happy to see that this franchise has lasted so long, because at the time period that it came out, we didn't really have horror comics like this. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on TV, but she did not have a comic book yet.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
and when you had horror books, like maybe it was like a commercial property, like every now and then. Like I think what were they called? Wildstorm had some Friday the 13th comics they put out, but aside from that, it was mostly zombie shit that you'd
Yeah.
get. And
Mhm.
like this was the first book that like actually like did slasher horror and had the idea of a slasher that kills slashers. And like honestly, there would be no something's killing the children if it wasn't for Hack Slash. End of story. Everybody's favorite comic right now owes a big debt of gratitude to Tim Silly and his vision. Because before this, he was just a guy that drew GI Joe comics at Devil's Due. You know what I mean? So
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, this is the birth of his career too, and he's gone on to write some of my favorite shit, dude. I love Revival. You know what I mean? I
Which
love
is getting a live action adaptation. It's in production as we speak.
right. Yeah, I
Uh,
forgot about that.
was
With the
that who's that with? AMC?
I think Sci-Fi Channel's doing it, right?
I'm not sure. I don't remember who, but yeah, it's in production. I
I think
remember
the
seeing.
I think the
Yeah,
last thing you put out said that it was a sci-fi production.
sci-fi. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Hmm.
which means it'll probably get one season, but it'll probably be a really good one season.
Really good season, and then get canceled because they don't know how to fucking advertise their shit and promote it. Yeah, yeah.
But
But
if they do it right, it should be a beautiful show. That comic was
mm,
excellent, man. When everybody was crazy about Walking Dead, I was a Revival fan, straight up.
who would you cast as Vlad?
Uh, Alan Ritchson, man.
Know who I would?
At least as the body, and like I'm not sure who they.
Kevin Durant.
He's not buff enough. I mean, he is. He'd have to
He can buff up.
Yeah, they'd have to put him on some human growth hormone. Maybe he's getting a little old too.
He's a bigger dude than the other guy, taller anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do love Kevin Durant too, though.
Yeah. I think he would, maybe like you said, maybe he's getting a little too old now.
But he does have the Eastern European, or he can do it really well.
That accent, yeah, exactly. So that's why I was thinking he's a big dude and he could probably pull off that goofy, like just after watching him in Abigail.
Strain? Oh yeah,
Abigail, like where he plays that goofy kind of big dopey guy, and like it just gave me Vlad vibes, like
yeah, not bad casting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who would you cast as for Cassie?
Oh man, I'm not sure. Like, I don't
That's
know
a
her
tough one,
name.
eh?
I don't know her name, but the girl that was in the first Terrifier movie in the skeleton dress was who I got a couple years ago.
I'm not a Terrifier fan, so I have
I'm not
clue.
sure the actress's name. She's like a prettier version of Nev Campbell.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I guess I would like to get kind of a really pretty little unknown chick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Let's see.
But they'll probably get what's her name? Jenna Ortega, and like she'd probably be good too.
I don't know if she's
They
too
always,
small.
yeah, but Cassie Hack's supposed to be kind of small though.
Is she supposed to be tiny little girl?
Not
Okay, so
really, but
it's Jenna Canal is the girl
Jenna-
from Terrifier.
yeah, I don't know. When I watched Terrifier, like the whole time I was watching, I was just like, man, this girl could be a really good Cassie Hack
Mhm.
because she's got the attitude and stuff. She kind of knows she's hot. She knows her shit don't stink, type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Jenna Ortega too, but I was like,
She's in everything
too,
though. She's
yeah,
like
it's too obvious,
she's
too,
like the girl Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I would hope for somebody unknown or like I said, that girl from Terrifier. But like I'm not sure. She's like she's a little older now because the first Terrifier came out
Yeah.
8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, way before the pandemic. So yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and like I don't know. I always even in the comics, they always portray her as like being like around 23. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess
What
older
about
wouldn't be too bad, but
yeah? What about like a director or someone in charge? Who do you think would be good for? Is there any directors you specifically would like to see take a stab at it, or
maybe the lady that made the new Evil Dead, because like I would like to keep this as a all mostly women in charge type project. You know what I mean? 'Cause keep the tone of the comic kind of like
yeah,
especially if we're doing this story, I would say that like the lady that did Evil Dead Rise would be a good pick because
yeah, like serious but with a touch of humor in it, like yeah. I can see that.
that's
Or,
that
or you could do a series with it too. That'd be fun.
yeah, well, I mean, like they could definitely spin it off into a show afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because you got your slasher, like your slasher of the week type thing. Kind
yeah,
of like Supernatural is kind of like that, right? You had your case of the week or whatever.
yeah, but like they went through all the different kinds of monsters, whereas like this Hack Slash pretty much stays with slasher type monsters, but like they do have different properties. Some of them are supernatural, some of them are cyber. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get in this book. You know what I mean? They give you a nice variety of the type of stuff that you would get from a typical Hack Slash. And then they also had really great crossovers. There was like the good Chucky issue of Hack Slash.
One of my favorites.
Great.
Yeah.
The Evil Ernie crossover, which was really fun. Yeah, so
Yeah. So I think this is definitely a recommend. If you're a fan of Hack and Slash, I think this is a fun entry worth checking out.
or if you've never read it before, it's a great
Yeah.
jump on point because like we said, it's a year one type thing. It really introduces you to Cassie a lot. Vlad, he kind of gets relegated to the back bin in this book
A little bit.
It's for good cause. Like it's kind of more about her. The book always kind of is though, you know what I mean? Like Vlad's always kind of relegated to the back bin, but he usually gets a little more panel time than this book. But
Yeah.
I do understand, what Zoe was doing with this book. So but like if you read this and like it, man, there's 7
lot more
omnibuses of Hack Slash you can get.
Yeah. 7 or 6. Yeah, 6 or 7, something like that. Yeah, there's a lot to read there, and it's all really fun. Like if you want just a fun horror comic that has like a little touchy feely every now and then, Hack and Slash is definitely worth your while to take the time and read it. And usually the art's really fun and good in it. Fans, like you said, of like Buffy style stuff, like it's like Buffy but with an edge.
Yeah, Buffy with a lot of gore. Yeah.
Buffy, like Buffy met Evil Dead, right? So yeah, it's like if you mix those two franchises together, you'd get right. If Buffy had sex with if the Buffy franchise had sex with the Evil Dead franchise, you'd get Hack and Slash would be their love child.
Nicely put.
Yeah.
So that was this episode, man, and we finally got it done. Maybe we'll get the Luther Strode one out soon too. That one's not quite as cursed, but we had trouble getting that one out the door too.
Yeah, I was in the hospital and stuff, so we had to put that one on the back burner. Yeah.
But of course, we got Thanksgiving on Thursday. I'd probably be busy, so that's why we're not going to be doing anything for the rest of the week. But
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday we are Gonna be back to talk to John Little and maybe
John
his
Little.
brother, but probably not. We're gonna be talking about Power 9, his remake of Sandman issue 17, and the Salesman.
The
Yeah.
Sales, that's a fun one. Yeah, great stuff. I have, especially the Sandman issue. I have a lot to talk about on that one, just from an art perspective, just from like a talk shop type thing about his art in that. That's a great issue. Like a lot of the coloring in that, I think, is immaculate. Like, I think, anyway, we'll get into it when he comes on, but
yeah, we're gonna have John Little on, and yeah,
on the 3rd of December, we're gonna have Steph Zumet. He's has a Kickstarter running right now for Renegade XL issue 3, the final issue of that 3-story arc. You can go find that on Kickstarter, Renegade XL. That's on the 3rd. The 5th is when we're doing our Arcane episode, and on the 7th, we're gonna have Brandon Graham on to come talk to us about his work. He has quite a bibliography of work, and he's going to talk to us about his newer work as well that he's putting out with Living the Line. It's it's a newer publisher that's putting out a lot of cool indie stuff. So
yeah, Surviving on Mars is the name of his newest book, and yeah, we're gonna be talking to him about that. And like, I'm not gonna be able to not talk to him about Multiple Warheads. You know what I mean? I absolutely love that book. So yeah, we're gonna have Royal Baller himself, Brandon Graham on.
Yeah, I can't find his pillow. What is it? Pillow fight book? I can't find.
Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah, I have both of his old porno comics. I have Pillow Fight and Perverts of the Unknown. So
the other one's called Perverts of the Unknown. Yeah. That's a good title.
But yeah, that's our itinerary for the near future. And then later in December, we're definitely going to be doing our Naughty or Nice. You know what I mean? That's going to be our 4th annual. We're going to have some friends on, and hopefully it won't be 3 hours, but it'll probably be closer to that than shorter than that. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to just fucking end the stream after 2. I'll be like, that's it. It's done. I'll just I'll be like, oops, I hit the button by accident.
But yeah, I just want everybody in the US, at least, all those Yankee pig dogs, to have a nice Thanksgiving, you know, because Canadians already had theirs last month
ago. So. Yeah. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans out there.
Americans. All right. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Take it easy, y'all. Stay classy.